What's up, YouTube? That time of year again, ready for a Banlist prediction, September 2023. Today I'm going to talk about my thoughts on it. I'm going to keep it between, halfway realistic, halfway wish list, as all Banlist predictions really are. But in this particular ranking, I do have banned, limited, semi, and unlimited, and then a wish list changes section. And that section is really, I want something to change, but I really don't think Konami will do it. I'm going to talk about each of the, potential cards that we could see on this list. Go through it like kind of deck by deck to see what I think will be done to hit each of these. Let me know in the comments below how wrong I am. Let's get into it. All right, so elephant in the room is Kashtira. There's a few options here. So we have, in this list, we have Wraitsoth, Unicorn, Fenrir, or Rise Heart, and Birth. So I think there are two options for really finishing this deck off, and I think it is time, and I think this deck will get finished off. I think Konami intended for this deck to be finished off last format when they hit a Rise Heart to 1 and Unicorn to 2. But here we go. It just won all of the YCSs anyway. So the two ways they can do this, in my opinion, is to ban a Rise Heart or put Fenrir to 1, or maybe both. My hope is that they ban a Rise Heart and put Fenrir to 2, because personally, I love Fenrir as a card. Wraitsoth is not going to get hit, in my opinion. Unicorn's at 2, and I think they would keep it at 2, or if they ban a Rise Heart, maybe put it to 3, to be totally honest. And I think that's what we could be seeing. Like, Unicorn, outside of the Kashtira deck, doesn't do anything really. So I think Unicorn to 3 is very possible, and then Birth as well. We could see this to 3. Yeah, it will stay at 3 as well, if these changes happen. So, if we take a look at what Kashtira will become if they banned a Rise Heart and put Fenrir to 2, then really it would just be a rank 7 turbo deck with not a whole lot of, board setup. I think that we could just see it as engine in other decks, and we'll see how long that remains okay. Like we saw that with Sky Striker, they kind of hit the Sky Striker deck a lot, and then we just saw it just as an engine. And we could see that with Kashtira because they're generically good as well. I really don't know how to hit this deck or how they're going to, but this is where I'm going to keep it for now. Okay, next deck I want to talk about is Dragon Link / the Bystials. So we have Lubellion, Magnemite, Saronir, Jerusalem, Chaos Space, Striker Dragon, and Quick Launch as our options. So, in my opinion, I think Lubellion is going to stay at 3. I think Magnemite is going to go to 1. I think Saronir, I think pretty much all the other Bystials are going to stay at 3 for now. I don't expect anything too drastic beyond this. Now, when we get to the actual Dragon Link part, I do think Chaos Space is going to go to 1 as well. I think it could be banned. I think it is ban worthy, but I don't think it will actually happen. So I'm going to put Chaos Space at 1 here. I think Striker Dragon is going to stay at 1 as well. And then I think Quick Launch will remain unlimited. I don't see any drastic changes. I think Konami likes to keep their Dragon decks alive, but I think Magnemite to 1 and Chaos Space to 1 as well is going to really hinder the consistency of this deck. I think that Magnemite to 1 is going to hurt your consistency a bit, because if you open it, you can't go Seals into another Magnemite for more extension, and you're just less likely to open it in general. And I think having these as the hits for dragons is going to be fine. Okay, for the plant deck, Jasmine, Dryas, and Loki. So there's no way Loki goes on this list. Dryas, I don't see it either, dude. And I really don't see any of these cards getting hit in reality. But I think Jasmine is a wish list ban. But we're going to see, Rika just doesn't have the numbers of tops. Yes, it has topped or won European championship 2 years in a row. But, so what? I don't think it's that good of a deck to deserve, a whole bunch of ban list hits. And not enough people play it, really. So I think this is what we're going to see. I don't think we're going to see any changes to the plant deck in this list. Okay, Sprite cards. We have Starter, Blue, and Jet as our options. So I can see Starter going to 1 or Blue going to 1, but not both. So and also it kind of depends on what hits there are to the runic engine, because the runic sprite decks only play one starter anyway. So but that means starter to one doesn't do anything, but that means Konami will probably do that. So we're gonna find out. This one's kind of a toss-up as well as to what's going to be hit. I don't think Jet is going to be the one hit. Starter's currently at 2. I think maybe blue will go to 2 also, because every sprite variant is playing 3 blue. So I think blue to 2 is going to be fine, or it's going to be unhit. We're going to have to see. Maybe even blue at 3 still, but I think blue to 2 is realistic. Of course, I'm hesitant to put anything at 2 because it's not a very common place on the list for something to end up, and I know having a whole bunch of cards going to 2 is not realistic, but this is where I think it should be. Okay, for the runic package, Hugin, Tip, and Fountain. So I think Hugin stays where it is. I think Tip goes. See, this is another card that I think should be at 2. Just another consistency card, but I can see Tip to 1. Or Fountain to 1, but not both. I'm not sure which one it's going to be. I think it's going to be this. I think Tip stays unlimited to sell the Megatins. I think Fountain goes to 1 because putting it at 2 doesn't do anything, but putting it at 1 is very risky to even play the runic package at all. So yeah, I think this is where we're going to end up for runics. For branded fusion, oh man, I think it could go to 1 as well, to be honest, and I'm a branded player, so I don't like to see that, but I think branded fusion to 1 really kind of solves the deck's power level. I think Puppet stays exactly where it is at 3. Don't see any changes to that coming. Branded fusion to 1 will force people to play kind of different variants of branded, or change their builds up. It'll make it far less consistent, far less visible. Like if they hit branded fusion to 1, there's going to be a lot fewer branded players and a lot fewer complaints about gimmick Puppet, and people will forget Puppet is a thing. So yeah, and another thing for Puppet, like even if they hit Puppet, there's Puppet replacements like DD Orthros. There's like all the like Ido, the Supreme Magical Being or whatever. Like people are just gonna play different shit instead of Puppet. So I think Puppet stays at 3. If they're gonna ban anything, it's got to be Sanctifier, the card that actually summons it to your opponent's field. Otherwise, they're gonna have to ban all the targets. It's like a Halka Fibrax versus all the tuners issue. Yeah, so this is where I think it'll end up, and I think they're just gonna hit all these top decks down a tier. Okay, for Labyrinth, I think Big Welcome is another card that goes to 1 here, and I think Lady and Kuklok stay where they are. And of course, when we're talking about Lady or Kuklok, also talking about any other cards in the deck, whether it's Lady or Lovely or Kuklok or any of the other furniture pieces. I don't think those by themselves are good enough or consistent enough to end up on this list, but Big Welcome, just summoning something from your deck and acting as a disruption from the graveyard. When you already have Welcome Labyrinth for consistency, I think this goes to 1. Pearly, I don't think gets any changes at all. Like the only card on this like tier list here is X Pearly Noir, but in general, I don't think it gets hit anymore. I think Pearly becomes the new best deck. I think that already having Delicious hit is something relevant, and I don't think there's going to be another hit until the next format. Being realistic. Now, Wishlist change, I might put another one of the quick play spells like Sleepy. That's the one that draws. I think there should only be one of those, personally. But yeah, I think Pearly is not going to be hit at all yet. I think next list is when we're going to see some more Pearly hits. Okay, now we get into a little bit more generic stuff or stuff that's already on this list. Gazelle, I think it comes to 3 here. They're going to try to sell the fire, the Salamangreat stuff that nobody's really buying right now. Invoker, I think, stays banned. I don't want this back. I don't know what it will cause, but anything like the ban list is home to stuff that summons things from the deck, and I think Invoker is going to stay right where it is. I don't think there's any reason to bring it back. Okay, Dragon Rulers. So Wishlist is that they all come back to 3. In reality, I think there's no more changes to Dragon Rulers for a while. I think Redox will stay. I think Title will stay. I think Tempest will stay at where it is, and Blaster will stay at where it is. I really don't foresee them doing anything about these, just because, I don't know, it's like extra effort to make more Banlist changes, but I think these all stay right where they are. But my wish is that they all came back to 3, because I don't think they do anything in this day and age. Miscellaneous Saurus, I think, can come back probably to 3. And then Pinkertops, I think stays right where it is. I don't see Pink changing at all. It's just very oppressive. Like, side deck going second is very strong to put in Pink. But, I mean, there's so many side deck going first cards that are strong, like D-Barrier and, like, Anti-Spell, like Floodgates, Eradicator. So it's kind of like a weird trade-off there. Like, should we bring back more strong going second cards like Pink? But I think Pink stays at 1. I don't foresee Konami making this change. Ibly, I think, stays where it is, but Wishlist, it should be banned. But I don't foresee Ibly making any kind of impact at all. It's only seen in like some sprite variants maybe. It's just not seeing enough play to warrant any Banlist change. Like, even Gimmick Puppet is probably seen more than Ibly, so I think Ibly staying at 3 is what's going to happen. But, you know, it's an annoying card. It's something that I don't like to see in the game, but I don't think Konami's going to change it. Harpor is another wishlist change. I think it stays where it is. Like, Harpor could have come back for like 2 years now, and we haven't seen it, and there's no reason to expect that September 2023 is the list that Harp comes back. It would be awesome to see it at 1. But I don't think it's going to happen. So it's going to just go on the wish list. Glow Up Bulb should stay banned. I know that Hulk is banned, but just Glow Up Bulb just facilitates too much crap. We're going to see Naturia Beast everywhere. It's just a 1 card Link 2 kind of. So I don't know. I just think Glow Up Bulb is a problem. And I really don't want to see it in the game, because I think it facilitates too much combo nonsense. Drident, I think, stays banned, stays where it is. It's another card that's just like too generic. A rank 4 becomes Drident, and it's just really strong, really hard to deal with. And then Calamity. It's a wishlist change again. I think it should be banned, but they left True King of all calamities unbanned for like 5 formats after it was a problem. This Calamity is much less of a problem than True King was, but yeah, and you're not going to see it in most games. It's only played in Manadium, really, and Manadium's kind of like whatever. So I don't see this card being a problem. I foresee everything else being hit. Manadium getting really good in the meta, and Calamity being a problem first before Konami does anything. So, wishlist, this is banned. In reality, not going to touch it. Just trying to be realistic. D-Barrier, same thing, dude. Like, for most of these generic cards, wishlist is banned. In reality, I don't see it happening. So I think D-Barrier is going to stay here. I think of the generic cards left, I think this one is most likely to get a ban. And that would be awesome. I would be so happy about that. I'm actually going to put it up here in banned, but let's talk about all the other floodgates. Skill Drain, Anti-Spell, TC Boo, even Shifter. Wishlist, banned. I don't like to see them. I don't like to play against them, and it's not fun, but I don't foresee Konami making any changes with these particular cards. Prosperity is a real change. I do think Prosperity will go to 1, just like Pot of Desires. It went to 1 and then back to 2, right? So I think Prosperity is going to go to 1. It could maybe go to 2, but I think 1 is more appropriate. Prosperity is just probably, it's one of the best cards in the game, like in the top 10 for sure. Triple Tactics Talent is unlimited. I don't think it's not even a wishlist change. Like, I'm fine seeing talents at 3. I think it's fine. And I think it's not going to get any change. Droll should be at 3. Droll is only good against, like, stupid combo formats. And it's just a check to those stupid combo decks. And I think Droll is a necessary card in the meta. And I don't think it's even like I think it's really well designed. It lets a deck have one search and then says no more. And I think that's good design. I really like that. And then Eradicator is another wishlist ban, but I don't see it happening. Like, even with all the hype, even with all of the games in big events that were decided by an Eradicator, even with all of that, I don't think it will see a hit. And yeah, I think it's gonna be unchanged. I would like it to not be in the game, but I don't see it happening, because what's gonna happen if they ban this is that we're just gonna switch to Deck Devastation virus, or you know, some other virus is gonna be a problem, and then we're gonna end up having to ban all the viruses. Yeah, Eradicator is the best one of them all, but I don't see it being hit. I don't see it being hit yet. So yeah, this is what I think we will see on the ban list. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff up here in the banned 1s and 2s, but some of them already exist there. Like Striker Dragon is already there, Pank is already there, Glow Up Bulb's already there, Drident's already there, Invoker's already there. So I only see 2 new bans, which are going to be Arise Heart and D-Barrier. A few things to 1, which are going to be Magnamut Chaos Base, Runic Fountain, Branded Fusion, Big Welcome, and Prosperity. Semis are going to be Fenrir, Sprite Starter is going to remain, and then Sprite Blue is also going to go to 2, and then everything else is going to stay right where it is. The changes to Unlim are going to be Gazelle and Miscellaneous Saurus. Everything else is already at 3 on this list anyway. And then wishlist changes. There's a whole lot of stuff that I would like to see change, but I don't see it happening. I don't think Konami's going to make that drastic of a ban list in this format. Like, the format is so diverse that it's hard to focus in on a target, and it's hard to make changes, and you don't know how the format will shake up and what will be like a new serious problem card. So this is all I see happening. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, subscribe, consider joining the channel if you want me to review your deck lists. Check out my Twitch. I've been streaming lately, so I'll leave a link to that. Yeah, and we'll see you guys later. Thanks.